Welcome back to Python tutorial. In this tutorial, we're going to go over some basic questions, right? And these ones are a little bit fun than the previous ones. All right, so let's get into it. So now, the first question we have here is write a program that reads positive n integers from a user and then display the sum of all of the integers from 1 to n. So how do we get this done? All right, so let's start by saying that n, because we're getting it from a user, n is equals to, say, integer, right? Because it says positive integers, right? They have to be positive integers, right? And we'll say input, right? And we'll have our parentheses and we'll have our quotation. I'll say please enter a positive integer, right? And this and that. All right, so we do it like so, right? And then we say total, right, is equal to, right? So we want to get the total sum. Okay, we can say total sum. All right, because it said okay, that displays the sum of all the integers, right? Okay, so now I have to perform some mathematical operations here, right? And what we have to do is basically to think, which is n, whatever the user puts in there should multiply our parentheses, that is n plus 1, right? Then we divide this output by 2. Okay, so I think you should know BODMAS. If you know BODMAS, then you will know what is going behind the hood, right? So now we have to print it out, print, and we're going to use our f string, right? We'll say f, then open and close the quotation. I'll say the sum of the total positive integer is, then we'll have to have our curly braces, and then we'll do like this and like so. All right, so let's run our program. Then say please enter a positive integer. Then let's say 8 and enter. Of course, say the sum of total positive integer is 36, right? So n is what the user entered and n is equal to 8. So here n is 8 and n is 8 plus 1, which is 9, right? 9 divided by 2 is 4.5, right? So now 4.5 times 8 is 36. All right, so that is this for this particular question. Then let's go on to the next one. All right, so the next one says the program that you create will begin by reading the cost of meal ordered at a restaurant from the user. All right, so we want to start by saying cost of meal, cost of meal, right? And we have to equate it to float. And we'll say input. We are using float because prices can be like 2 point something, 3 point something, 50 point something, right? So now that's why we are using float as our data type. Okay, so now we'll say please enter the cost of meal. All right, so this is the first thing they ask us to do. Then let's go to the next thing. Say then your program will compute the tax and tip for the sorry for the typo, right? The tax and tip for the meal, right? You have to compute the tax and tip for it, right? Use your local tax rate when computing the amount of tax. Oh yeah, all right. So right now I reside in Turkey, and the tax rate for Turkey is 18%, right? So let's go back and say tax rates, right? Tax rate, right? And we'll say this is equal to 18%, that is actually 0.18, right? So say 0.18, right? Multiply by the cost of meal. So let me copy this and paste it here. Okay. All right. So let's continue. And it say compute the tip as 18%, right? Of the meal amount without tax, right? Okay. Now I have to compute the tip. Tip, right? Okay, we can say tip rate, right? So tip rate, this is equal to, and then let me just use this. Okay, it's cool. 18%, which is 0.18. Again, what a coincidence, right? Multiplied by the cost of meal. Okay, they said the output from your program should include the tax rate, the tip, and before we continue, and the grand total, right? So the grand total is the total sum of everything that the customer is going to pay, right? Say grand total, grand total, right? This is okay. This is equal to, say, cost of meal, Ctrl V, and this is plus tax rate, rate. Okay, I'll say plus the tip, plus, right? We'll say tip rate, tip rate, right? And then the output of your program should print the tax amount, the tip, and the grand total. All right, so let's start by the cost of meal. I'll say print, right? Sorry, let me give some space, and let's take this upward, and I say print. And of course, I love to use the F string, and I say F, open, and close, and I say the cost of meal, and I have to use the curly braces, and I say cost of meal, right? Cost of meal, and I say TL because this is the Turkish currency, right? And I say print. So print the F string again, and I say this and that. And what next are we calculating? The tax rate. I will say okay, the tax rate is, and curly braces, and I say tax rate, and then I go down. I have to print the tip rate, right? I say print, and I say F string. I say okay, I have to close it. I say okay, tip rate is curly braces, and I say okay, tip rate, and then I say TL. Okay, so this should be TL also, and I go down. I say grand total, print, and I say F string, open and close. Then I say the cost on the grand total, right? The grand total is, then I have to open this. Oh, I think I'm missing something. The last part said format your outputs so that all of the values are displayed using 2 decimal places. Wow. All right, so let's make this let's say round. Let's use the round function into 2 decimal places, right? Our parenthesis is open, and let's grab this grand total and say okay, this should come here, and all right, into 2 places. Then we say 2. All right, then we have our tip rates here. We have to copy this, cut it out, and say round, because everything should be in 2 decimal places, right? Ctrl V and comma 2, right? We have to grab this, Ctrl X, say round, and parentheses, and say Ctrl V, comma 2, and I have to copy this and say Ctrl X and say round, and parentheses, and then Control V and comma 2. All right, so let's test our program. All right, so as you can see, say please enter the cost of meal. Let's say cost of meal is 50 Turkish lira, right? And of course, please enter the cost of meal 50 Turkish lira. Oh, this is not well presented, right? So let's have these and let's rerun, say 50, right? And enter. Of course, say please enter the cost of meal 50, right? The cost of meal 50 0.0 Turkish lira because it's in float. The tax rate is 9.0 TL. The tip rate is 9.0 TL. The grand total is 68.0 TL. All right, so let's try something else and let's say 500.789. Okay, and let's see. Of course, you can see that everything is rounded into 2 decimal places. All right, let me extend this to maybe 4, right, and see what happens, and say 569 point. All right, let's see. Of course, so this is how the round function is. All right, so thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one.